All right, there we go. Hello, hello, hello. We are here. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I didn't update it the first time, but now we're good to go, and we're just going to jump right into it. We are working... Hi, I'm Katie. This is Atelier Nikuzuki. I work with hand-selected Japanese fabrics to make project bags for knitters, and I'm branching out into bags and accessories for everyone. But right now, we're working on getting bags done for a pop-up with Ancient Arts Yarns tomorrow, which is February 10th, at the Dye Studio, because it's their first anniversary. Let's get this clipped in and going. So last night was a little bit of a fail. I only got to get on for about 45 minutes, mostly because I was unmotivated. And then my youngest woke up. So I am sorry for the sudden ditch last night. It just was not going to work. And then I got upstairs and I'm like, I do not have the energy to go back downstairs. So let's try to have a good night's sleep and then come on today and get everything done. I have not gone for my run yet. That will happen later. I realized I didn't even actually check the length of my run today. But I will be working until about lunchtime, and then I will have to scoot into the city. I just realized I should also order my glue that I need, because I did check the glue last night, and I'm like, yeah, there's not enough for the labels today. I'm thinking that we're going to try and get about halfway through what's mostly done, and see how long that takes us, and then we'll judge if we can get more done either tonight or, well, tonight basically. Setup is not going to take me that long today, but it's also, I got to drive like 45 minutes in and 45 minutes back, and that has to be around the kids' schedule. And then once I have the kids home, that's when I'll actually do my run, blah, blah, blah. All the excuses. But whatever. We'll see where we get to this afternoon. Because that's just how it goes some days. So if this is your first encounter of me, the Coles Note version of this is that I started making project bags for knitters when there's very few makers in Alberta, and then a bunch of makers came in on the scene, and I went, okay, I need to niche down a little bit more. And I went, okay, where's got cute cat fabrics? I've always been a cat lover, so let's do cute cat fabrics. And I was like, I wonder if I could lean into my exchange that I went on to Japan during university, and lo and behold, they of course have amazing cat bags. So here we are. Or cat fabrics, not cat bags. They have amazing cat bags too, but that's not the point of this. But yeah, here we are. I was talking about it over the summer, but I did actually email my exchange coordinator. She's now like the head of international student stuff, I think, at U of C. I said, hey, you'll never guess what that English major you sent to Japan is doing with this exchange that you selected her for. So that was pretty cool to be able to kind of catch up with her and be like, hey, this is what happened. Can't imagine that's been an easy job the last few years, so. All right, we're going to work around here. So what we're doing is we're clipping the interior and exterior together, along with the drawstring channel and that leather handle that we cut out a couple nights ago. And then this feels like we're going to probably turn it interior out, and we'll sew basically it's buckled here. So we're going to turn it this way, and then we'll sew it so that interiors to the inside, and that just helps sometimes with keeping the puckers limited, especially on the outside, but sometimes even on the inside as well, because we can kind of finesse it around a little bit easier. Like, where did my bin of bags go? They're over here. Okay, let's get some of the dog ones done as well. Oh. My legs are tight today, apparently. Okay, so we got Shiba Inu traveling Japan. I just realized that's like really crooked. Let's fix that up a little bit so that you can still see, but you know, it's not quite so topsy-turvy feeling. It's in a really bad spot, so, but I don't have any other places to put it. I guess I could put it on the desk behind me, but that would require me actually tidying up the desk, and that is not happening today. Alright, so what I do is I go in and I clip the ruler to the bag, because that is the best way to get the handle onto it. Right, we decided, I was like, what colors did we decide for this? But I decided on black for the blue bag and brown for the vanilla fleck. Because the brown with the blue on this one, there's two different of like tones. So this blue's a really like cool blue, and the brown is a very like warm brown. So if it looks like I'm clipping this a little bit under that ledge, it's because I am, because it's like stepped down a little bit. And I'm probably gonna trim it down. Probably should have before I started the handle. As long as I know it's there, it's fine. Actually, it's pretty in line with the other side. So you're gonna lift it back up. It's just the corner that's a little bit off, so that's okay. There, okay. Drawstring channels. Which have not been clipped apart yet. So I was mentioning that I think we'll do about half of these, sew them together, see where we're at. Mostly because it's like I've got a lot of other things to do today, like actually taking the display in and setting it up. I should actually text Caroline, and actually I should text my sister-in-law, make sure she's still good to take my eldest to gymnastics tomorrow. Oops. And I need to figure out a couple other things. I also need to order glue. Order glue. Order glue. Order glue. Glue is required because otherwise I don't have enough to put the tags on these guys. So maybe what I'll do is, well, no, we'll finish clipping and sewing these, and then, although I want to order glue online to do a pickup with. A, that'll save me money and time going into Michael's. And B, I can get Aeroplan points. Okay, we'll finish clipping this one, and then I'll order my glue and text the people I need to text that I should have texted before I even got on stream. But, you know, it'll all work out, right? So, yeah, last night was a bit of a disaster because obviously I got on for about 45 minutes, and then I misclipped those two bags. I had to redo them. It's just like, really? Just was not my night, apparently. So sometimes it is better just to step back from that. Could I have done more? Yes. Would it have been high quality work? Probably not, given that I misclipped a whole interior. So, could actually be that my youngest saved me from myself and a bunch of heartache of like having to redo a bunch of work. That's what I'm going to go with. 100%, that was the intention. It was such a pitiful little cry, too. It's like, and it's one of those ones where it's half like, okay, do you actually need me? Or are you just doing like the shuffle, the bed shuffle, and then you'll chill? The pause before going to check sort of thing. That was definitely needed cuddles, so I'm glad I went up. Obviously, it's not like I wasn't going to, but okay, this one is like, the interior is well fitted to the exterior, so we're going to turn it as well. I do find it usually easier to pin it or clip it like I just did and then turn it, mostly because it's like putting the handle and the drawstring channel on the exterior with the like right sides together makes way more sense, and then putting the interior in afterwards makes sense for me. If you sew and you do it elsewise and it works for you, all the power to you. Okay, what else do we have? We're going to put that one as a lower finish. What do we have? Everything's tangled up. Whoa, okay, this is the big pile. All right. They just keep coming. And I'm caught on the ring light because they just kept going. Okay, so here is one of the ends of this. So let's just start here. That's Sonata-kun on paper airplanes. There's sneaky cats. Sneaky floral cats. Alice. We definitely want to make sure that Alice gets done. Now, obviously, these will all get done. But some of them might get done on Monday versus getting done today. So, or tonight. Honestly, I'll probably be up late tonight finishing and then running a bunch of drawstrings in the morning because that's just how we roll. Seems like how we roll consistently. Okay, that is the extra one that needs to actually go with the more cats, and more cats did not get finished. So, right, let's do the sassy cat one because actually I've changed the name back to like black cat. I like sassy cat myself, but I think it turned out to be a little bit confusing. Okay, and then we're gonna put Alice as the next one. Anyway, black cat just makes more sense. And could I go through and sew these right away? Not really. It would be really actually difficult to do, mostly because I am working on my sewing table. And going from clipping to sewing and clipping to sewing it doesn't sound like much, but the mental shift of it is like it's two different sections basically. Oh, right, I was going to actually, wait, order glue before I forget again. We're going to order glue. We're going to order glue. We're going to order glue. Make sure I get on the Canadian Michaels. Gonna order glue. Gonna order glue. Yes, and I want to activate my Aeroplan offer, please. Excellent. Activated. Perfect. Some exclusions may apply. Cricut products. Really? Cricut products don't count? Oh my goodness. That's annoying. Oh well. Alright, sign in. Sweet. And it's 40% off right now. Beacon 3-in-1 in one glue. Okay. 8 ounces for 22. How large is the other one? 3? 4. So really it's like almost the same price. And actually, we're going to go with the smaller bottle because it is one of those things that does dry out. Free store pickup. It's out of stock online, but it is in stock in person, so I'll add to cart. Do I need anything else at Michael's while I'm ordering from Michael's? And I gotta stop anyway. I don't think so. Apply the discount. Promo applied. Sweet. That is not the right credit card. That is the right one. It's the right billing info. Next step. Don't email that one. Email. Oh, okay, have to do that one. We're going to pick up. Oh, right. They do not like my one credit card. And I haven't used the other one for a while, so I don't remember the code on the back. Shoot. Oh, right. I wonder if I can just do... Let's try this. Hello. We are going to turn you away from my computer so I can type in my numbers. For whatever reason, it does not like the one. It's fine with the other one. So we were going to go through and actually pay it through PayPal. Ridiculous, but true. PayPal checkout. Although I did actually stop using PayPal on my own website because they were charging my customers and then like charging them again. It was ridiculous. And like breaking it up weird and all of that. So I turned it off because it was too like, it was too much. It's like, well, that's BS. Okay, we have successfully purchased glue. Okay, that's not going to work for print. Oh, that print receipt. Why is it on 2 pages? Do better. Let's just shrink it so that it's all on 1 page. There. Range 1:1. Print. Thank you. Okay, and then we need to do a text chain here to her. There we go. The admin work has been completed. For now. Now we just gotta wait for texts to come back. Alrighty, now we're going to work on the black cat bag here. Zoom. Let's get you back down here. Like that. Oh no. So my sister-in-law's in Winnipeg right now, and she just texted me that her flight home just got canceled. I know she was saying that Winnipeg has like had rain and then there's a bunch of snow over top of it. Yeah. All right, well, this will be interesting. Okay, I do actually need to respond to those, both of them. All right, well, I guess we'll see. I don't want my eldest to miss gymnastics tomorrow, but that might be the option, unfortunately. Actually, I wonder what the temperature is going to be like if my mother-in-law could walk them down to the gymnastics center, or if my father-in-law's around. So if nothing else works out, maybe I'll call them and find out what they could do for them. Good thing I checked in now, because now we both have time to figure our stuff out. Oh dear. Okay, that one's crinkly, so we're gonna turn it out so that Sassy Cat is on the outside. And I'll be working up until about 11:30 noon my time, so another couple hours. Mostly because I still have to empty out the back of the truck and load it, so that's going to be fun. Although Caroline did say I could just said that I could just drop off and then like set up tomorrow Although now that is dependent on like how tomorrow pans out. I'm just gonna take some coffee. So that's going to determine what happens here. Alice is turning out glorious. Then I think we should make sure that the capybara get finished. Like I said, we'll try and get everything finished, but it's like, we'll make sure that we get like half at least finished before lunch, and then we'll see where I get to for it tonight. All right. Oops. Pin it so that the fold is up. Not fold down. Fold down will not work for the drawstring. Well, it would, but then the raw edges would be showing, and we don't want our raw edges to be showing. Clip, clip. And clip. Anyway, yeah, my sister-in-law said that the next flight from Winnipeg to Calgary isn't until tomorrow night. So that would not be fun for her either. I definitely don't want you printing my receipt on the Dymo. Thank you. Into the interior you go. Now this one doesn't feel like it needs to be turned out, so that's good. That saves us a little bit of time right now. And here's the thing, I can always turn it out when I'm sewing it too. You just backstitch it and then go back to it afterwards. Okay, there's a Sassy Cat with retro cosmetics. Looks, oh no, it hasn't been clipped. So I know that's like an open container, the bin, what that holds all the like clips and everything like that, but it's like I hate having to reach into it every time. So typically I do little piles, but then I realized, hey, I can actually turn this on the end, and it's basically like I'm just pulling from a big pile. I don't know why. I don't know what makes that more appealing than like reaching into a bin every time, but for some reason there's like tactilely, I don't even know if it's a tactile thing or if it's just easier to grab from a big pile than reach in and like try to pluck a clip from the bin each time or something. I don't know. Here we are though. My brain is happy with the solution that I did yesterday. So, although I am going to apparently today's not going to be a full ASMR stream, but it is going to kind of just be a chill and chat as things pop into my head, which hopefully is enjoyable. Hopefully you have your knitting or your crafting or whatever you're working on, and a beverage of your choice. Because realistically, this doesn't take much concentration, but it is kind of just a nice to like zone in on thing. Now, something that does actually make sewing bags in the round like this easier is a cylinder arm on your sewing machine. Obviously, I do not have a cylinder arm on my sewing machine. I have a flat deck sewing machine. Have I been greatly tempted to add a cylinder arm sewing machine? Yes. Are cylinder arm sewing machines horrendously expensive? Also, yes. Actually, they're not that bad if you're actually, or that's what you're producing, basically. And realistically, they are an investment that really that keeps giving, and also that you can always resell later. But they're like $900 more than what I paid for this. I actually probably double what I paid for this machine back when I actually bought it. So, not something that's on the horizon right now. Can you find used ones? Yes, but the problem is that a lot of the used equipment is down in the eastern Canada. Because that's where a lot of the like textile folks are and all of that, and they exist in Alberta, but they're just harder to track down in general. But maybe eventually I will get a cylinder machine. It's also like, what would I use it for mostly? And it's like Kato, and like, I don't know. It's not something that would be like an everyday use machine either, I don't think. Although I could get a cylinder machine and then put a flatbed on it. So that is an option eventually. Maybe. We'll see. At the same time, I also feel like it's one of those situations where if I do that, then we're going to end up with a lot more technical issues potentially. Whereas like this Juki it goes and goes and goes and goes and goes and goes so far. Knock on wood. So we'll see. There's a lot of little flyaways. Oh, excuse me. There we go. Just gonna clip these before I put them in, because otherwise they get sewn in and they can be such a pain in the butt to trim later that it's not even funny. Something that I should do more often, but I know on the Kato bags in particular, they're bad for doing that, so. Good. These hedgehogs are flippin' adorable. I love this background color. Oh, I just realized I could actually turn on the ring light and you'd be able to actually see what I'm working on even better than not having the ring light on. Dude. Also, the weather last night was wild. It was like, it looked like it was like rain snowing. It's weird because the roads looked wet. We definitely got snow last night. So I don't know what happened. Snow wasn't even in the forecast. The weather app didn't even say it was snowing when it clearly was. It was like, yeah, it's hazy. And I'm like, it's been hazy for the past 4 days. What? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, okay, I'm not lying. 4 days. Tuesday was bad because it was like the fog socked in the valley really, really bad. And then Wednesday it was foggy. And yesterday it was foggy. Today it's cloud fog. I don't think it's actually foggy. I think it's clouds now. So it's just kind of gloomy. And that's supposed to be the benefit to Alberta, is it's like it can be minus 40, but it's usually sunny, but not right now. I love how I'm complaining about that though, when it's like, we need more moisture. And it's like, so this is going to be helping the moisture at least. And it's not super cold because it's been clouded over at night. So that means that whatever heat we're gaining during the day isn't evaporating overnight. So that's nice too. I just like complaining apparently because it's February and February is just ugh. If you've heard me talk about it before, I call it the doldrums. It's just kind of like there's nothing going on right in the middle of that winter, and it's just blech. And also we're probably like usually at the end of February or beginning of March we end up with like a week or two of like really cold weather again. So it's like that's probably on the horizon, and it's like, no. Oh well. More snow though, please. Not ice. Just more snow, please. We need more snow. Okay, I do even want to actually find the capybara. Because I feel like that one really does need to be finished. There they are. Let's do the capybara. And we're going to also make sure that we get those dogs done, the ones on the blue. This one right here. Okay, so there's those guys. And here's the capybara. And then... Am I being selective? 100%. Am I showing my favoritisms? Yeah, a little bit. That's fine. Actually, we don't have that many more to actually get clipped in. So how long have we been on? 40 minutes. Okay. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And actually, it's -2 because one of those was for the more cats and one of those was for housekeeping cats, and they're not getting finished. So we might just be able to clip them all and it's not a big deal. So let's just keep cranking along here. It would be nice if it turns out to be less work than I anticipated. I doubt it will, but you know, we can always hope. There's always hope. Let's actually pick up my thread catcher and start using it instead of just throwing everything on the ground. It's like right here. It is getting put, like, sucked into the pile. And yes, that is a pile. The pile with a capital P. So let's not let it get sucked into the pile. I also think that might be, so this whole like February doldrums, I think that might be why having a marathon lined up in Kyoto next year in February is so appealing. Also, I do have to say, compared to the Air Miles program, because I've been an Air Miles girl and woman and lady and all of the different ages. Basically, my first and only collector program when I was in school was Air Miles, and has been since, yeah, whatever that timeline is. Holy crap, when? 2007. So I've been collecting Air Miles for over 17 years. Or nearly 17 years. I would have had like a debit card that collected Air Miles before that, though. Yeah, so between like 17 and 20 years, oh shoot, I need to put the drawstring on. Getting distracted by rewards programs. Anyway, back when like BMO used to offer the Air Miles debit card as well, so that's how I started collecting Air Miles. So yeah, so almost 20 years. But now so we did the switch to like the WestJet thing, but the companion voucher is really only good, or like a good value for continental North America. And I mean like Canada and the US, basically. That's what that voucher is good for. At least from what I've been seeing, because like you still have to pay for the voucher, and a lot of times it won't even let you use the voucher because it's like, well, the base fare is less than the companion voucher. So yeah, so it's useful for going down to Disney, basically, and that's fine. That'll be good enough. And once we collect enough like WestJet dollars, it would actually probably be beneficial for direct flights to Japan. The problem with that is that we don't necessarily travel in the on seasons. We like to travel on the off seasons for obvious reasons, less crowded. We have that flexibility with Dallas's schedule and the kids' schedule, especially right now. Oops, that was folded in, so these guys actually need to be scooted over here. Blah blah blah, whatever. Don't need to travel on the on season, we won't. But yeah, but WestJet only flies direct to Japan like from May to October. And then if you go with their partner airline, which is JAL, and JAL is amazing. I would love to fly them again if I get a chance. But then you can't use the companion voucher anyway. So it's just kind of, it's good for continental US. Let's just stick with that. And Aeroplan versus Air Miles, like Air Miles has lost a lot of their value. It used to be that you only paid the like fees and taxes. Now you got to pay all of the, or I don't know what happened, because it used to be like I would exchange for an airplane or for an Air Miles flight, and it'd be like $100. Obviously, that's gonna work out really, really well compared to paying like $1,200 to $1,500 for a flight. That's not what I typically pay. That is like if you pay full price for a flight. Do not pay full price for a flight to Japan. Air Canada consistently puts their seats on sale, especially if you're traveling in the off season. I've still seen flights below like $1,000 round trip. But if you have very specific dates and you gotta travel those dates, then obviously it's probably going to come a bit of a premium, and realistically it's still not that bad considering the service you get. Anyway, yeah, it used to be like $100 to book through Air Miles, and now it's like over $1,000, and I'm like, well, it's actually not ending up saving me that much, because if you're paying $1,000 anyway, you may as well try and just get the seat on sale. But that is the big appeal to Aeroplan points, is you can pay for your taxes and stuff like that. Basically, there's different brackets, so you can pay for the taxes and stuff if you want. And that's like, and the fuel surcharge, that's the big one that always increases flight prices. But you can select to do it through Aeroplan right through, so that it doesn't even cost you a cent. And that's what's super appealing about the program right now. My friend was saying, she's like, she's always collected Aeroplan points, but she's never used them. And she's like, they used to be so useless and terrible to use and all of that. And now that it's like, see, if I just wait long enough, they come back around. Anyway, yeah, I think that's part of the appeal of like the Kyoto and Osaka marathons, is it's February. We were discussing that we need to start traveling more in the wintertime, simply because it's like, this winter has been an exception, but the last couple winters have been kind of brutal in like -40 and stuff like that. And it's like, with really little ones, it's really hard, especially our youngest, because they did not ever want to wear their mittens like for the last little bit. They're better this year, but it's also like, I don't want to consistently have to put on 16 bajillion layers to go outside. I'm not a cold weather girl, woman. and basically like put on 16 bajillion layers just to be outside for like 30 seconds. And then them to be like, it's cold. No. So that's part of why I'm like, let's start traveling in the winter so we don't have to put on 16 bajillion layers. And then also, it's not just that you have to put on 16 bajillion layers, but you put them on in between, like for that 5-minute walk across the parking lot. Actually, I don't normally. Usually I just hustle us all in. And then you have to, but if it's longer, then you have to do it, and then you have to like take everything back off when you get back inside. And that's just as hard sometimes. It's like, take the boots off, take your hat off, take your mittens off. It's annoying enough when I have to do it. It's even more work when you have to do it with kids. And so all the kudos to like everyone who works in childcare, because my goodness, it's bad enough with just my two. I can't imagine doing it as a job, like a paid job for other people's children. There we go. These capybara are ridiculously adorable. And also I will have little rubber ducky stitch markers with me that match these perfectly, and they glow in the dark. They're super cute. And oh my goodness, why am I clipping it before? Blah, 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 blah. We need to do the drawstrings, guys. Remind me to do the drawstrings before I start that. You're probably like staring at the screen like, Katie, put your drawstrings in. And unfortunately, I cannot hear you. You need your drawstrings. Mabel. Martha, put in the drawstrings. Alright, so anyway, there's rubber duckies in the little capybara onsen, which is super exciting. I did mention the whole idea of maybe with Dallas, it's like with the pool for... So we were discussing how, like... I think the two biggest hesitations we have with the kids is it's like, I think they're going to travel really well, but the jet lag, because the jet lag gets everyone. And they're not going to know what hits them. There is no way to prep for the jet lag this time. In the past, what I've done is I've actually done a switch at home, which is still brutal for travel day, but then you're mostly on Japan time. But this worked best when Dallas was working nights, so he would go on a night shift. We would plan our trip for when he came off nights. But one of the big perks, probably the biggest perk, because there's not a lot of them in his new position, is that he's on like perma days. So he's never on night shift, which is kind of awesome. Kind of sucks for going to Japan. Should find out if you could just do like one night shift before we go to Japan. Could I work nights? Although that wouldn't work because all the work that he has to like manage ends up happening in the daytime. So I don't think that would fly very well. Anyway, and of course the kids are gonna be too young to understand why we would do that and blah blah blah. So we were discussing the other day. Well, someone was like, do they have indoor play places? And I'm like, I will look into that because that's a fantastic idea. Because the best suggestion I've seen with traveling with kids for jet lag is like, as soon as you get off that plane, go and get to a playground. And I would totally take that advice to heart, except with Japan, the sun sets at 4:45 and that sun is down and gone. It's so dark. It gets like very, very, very dark, very rapidly and very early. And the flight from Vancouver arrives at like, if you're lucky, if it's not delayed and all of that other rigmarole, it arrives at like 4:45. And when I landed in November last year, which will be a comparable time out from like the winter solstice, right? No, February will actually be a little bit further out. Whatever, it doesn't change much usually. Yeah, but anyway, in February it'll be down and it will be dark. Because when I landed in November, it was like 4:38 or something like that, and it was like already pitch black. I feel like, I don't know, it's just stiff and like not angled correctly. Okay. The leather on this one is fighting back a little bit, but it is a little bit different temper, and I'm wondering if I didn't clip it in quite right. No, it's right on that side. So this side's just gonna give me a fight. I don't know why I went to clip that on my lip. That does not work, Katie. It's not a pin you can hold in your mouth. You should not hold your pins in your mouth anyway. You can inhale them. There. It's a little bit happier. Not really. Stay. So anyway, so yeah, we're going to look at indoor play places to see if there's anything like that, or a pool, like a hotel with a pool or something like that would be really good. But I don't know. I booked a hotel with a pool in Kyoto, not because of the pool, but I was like, oh, that's a nice like added bonus. Because I was kind of like, well, when we come back, then we'll have a pool maybe with the kids. But it was a really weird setup. So it was like, they charged you for the pool, whatever, not a big deal. But it was also only open until like 1 p.m. Like, well, that is not useful. And of course, it's like the listing for the hotel is like, yeah, we've got a pool. It's like, cool, but you don't find out the rest of the information until you actually get to the hotel, that there's like restricted hours and stuff like that. Now that might just be a thing right now. I don't know. Like Japan is still kind of ramping up in May, so it might have changed, but I don't feel like it is. So there can be some weird stuff sometimes. It's just like, what? That doesn't make sense. Okay, I like how I was like, we're just gonna pin a few and then we'll sew, like, we'll clip like half and then we'll sew it and then we'll see where we're gonna get to. But I think we're just gonna end up clipping all of them and dealing with it. And yes, I check that angle every single time because I never remember which way it goes to actually lay mostly flat, or like how I want it to lay on the bag. There we go. But anyway, yeah, Dallas was like on board with if we can find one with a pool, because part of this is also like it would be good for us, but we are going to be exhausted too. So I don't want anything that's like a massive energy commitment, because we need to be functioning as well. So that would be the one like drawback to a pool, would be the fact that like if we're completely bone tired, we may not have enough energy to take them to it. Because Dallas doesn't sleep on a plane, and I don't typically. Although I'll try to usually doze off a little bit. But who knows how the kids will be on the plane too, so. Although they did really good going to Florida, and that flight back was like 6 hours, so. It's like 60% of the way to Japan. On the long side of it. I think it's 10 hours back or something like that. I think it's like 9:40-ish over, 9 hours over. Can't remember. Also, I still don't have a straight answer if you would do snack reaction videos with me or not. I did find out though that we can drink beer on the channel with common sense rules of like, don't advertise to minors. And it's like, well, no. And you can't say that drinking alcohol will give you higher social status. And it's like, yep, okay. Pretty straightforward. No nonsense rules. So it's not like we're going to be advertising to minors anyway. And yeah. I don't think my audience is mostly under 18 or 21 anyway. I think most of my audience is like mid-30s plus at the low end most of the time. All right, here we go. Raindrop polar bears. Now the question is do I have a snack? Oh yes, I do. Right. My youngest calls granola bars Myanmars for some reason. I'm like, no, but it's adorable. Anyway, they were trying to steal the granola bar that I have as like my snack down here for when I don't feel like getting up, basically, and going upstairs. The backup granola bar, and they were like, I want the granola bar, the Myanmar. I don't even know where that came from because it's not like we call them granola bars, so maybe someone at his like day home or something like that, or just them messing up the word, who knows. All right, we are down to, so yeah, so one of this is housekeeping cats, one of this is more cats, so it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more to clip together. So I think we're gonna be fine. I think we're just, actually we'll do the last black one because that's the sneaky floral cats, and we may as well get that off the black one off the sewing table. What time is it? 10 o'clock. Alrighty. Now, do I still need to sew all of these? 100%. Do I also need to adhere as many labels as I can with the current bottle of glue? Yes. Do we need to top stitch them? Also yes. Do we need to put the drawstring through them? Yeah. I think we're going to just declare that tonight is going to be a late night, and if you want to join me in like finishing stuff up, please do. Keep me awake with chatting. Is Katie going to have a coffee with dinner? Yes. Also yes. The current plan is I will go pick the kids up. We will have easy dinner, which basically means we're going to have truck pizza pops. So I can cook them before I go pick them up because they're just get microwaved. And then I can leave them in the truck with their iPads, and I can go for my run because I do still need to do my run today. The truck is backed into the garage with the treadmill, so that's why and how that works. and do that. And then we will put the children's to bed. And then I will be back down to do my sewing. So I guess it's also like run yoga right back to back. But that's okay. I can do that. If you're looking for a good online yoga class, I use Yoga with Adrienne. She does like a 30-day challenge in January. I call it challenge very loosely. It's more of a, well, it is. It's basically do yoga for 30 days, which is actually more of the challenge, is like the mental fortitude to do yoga for 30 days, basically. Am I perfect at it? Hell no. But this year I am already almost halfway. So I think today is day 15. We started late because obviously we were busy down at Disney at the beginning of the year. So we started when we got home. And that's fine too. Not like it's going anywhere. So once we're done this challenge, we'll probably pick another year and do that year as well. I think one of my favorite years is 2018. And this year's been really good because it's been like really short stuff. So I think everything's been under, it's definitely been under half an hour. I think it's most of it's been under 25 minutes. And then like, well, 20 to 25 minutes, under 20 minutes a lot of the time, which makes it far more accessible in some ways because it's just easier to get yourself motivated for the shorter classes sometimes. And I like yoga, and it's just like, oh yeah, no, I can fit that in somewhere during the day most of the time. So. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this one is really, really warbly inside. So we're going to clip it from the inside to begin with because why not? No point in fighting it. We know we're going to sew this one from the interior. Yeah, it's like, so that's good. It means that it is a very tight fitting interior, just hopefully not too tight. Okay. There's apparently a lot more room on the one side versus the other, so you know. We'll just ease that around as we go and kind of keep the exterior under a little bit of tension as we sew it. All right, Shivas. Oh yeah, I'm glad that we went with the red for the Shiba Inus. Super cute. The red pull tabs with the black D-rings. Come here. There we go. Okay, now I gotta do drawstring. No. I do need the drawstrings, but we need to do the handle first, and then we do the drawstrings. There we go. Take it. I got it right the first time this time. Yay. I also do a very scientific by feel placing of the drawstrings. how I keep, like, that's still quite a few clips, but I'm like, I swear I ordered like 400 of them originally. So where the heck did all these clips go? I know I'm putting a lot onto the Kato, but it's like, where did they go? I know a lot of them have also actually been broken, and I think the kids might have gotten into some of them and like scattered them about the basement. So, although they haven't done that recently, so I don't know where they actually did go. Go. One feels like it'll be okay. Like that. More coffee. I said that I was going to do all of the rest of these are brown, but they are not. I'm missing like 2 black handles. This is brown. Okay, let's sort this out. What happened here? That's brown because of the vanilla fleck, but this one's supposed to be black because black, like brown, is not going to work with this, and this is also supposed to be black because brown is not going to work with the butterflies. It's also going to be a pretty tight drawstring channel, but that's because, and so is this. Okay, that would be why it looks so thin on the table, is apparently I'm missing straps. Lovely. Where did they go? Like, we just cut them out the other night. Maybe it looks like maybe what I did is I miscounted the brown versus the black. Who knows? I don't know. This does actually look like it could go with the brown. Warm it up a little bit, that'll work. And then that black was intended for housekeeping cats, but who cares? We will do that with black. With the butterflies. That drawstring will be fine. It just looks really small. And then realistically, we could do a brown with the sakura. Yes, because it looks like bark. I cannot do brown with this. That'll just pull it apart too far. Okay, so that's okay because that was one of the ones that I really set aside hard because I was like, it is not really, it's a really gorgeous print, but it'll be better for like May shows and stuff like that than February shows. Ooh, what do I have on my finger that scraped the leather? The oil on this has like come and sat on the top almost like a wax. So if you do get one of these and you're like, ugh, there's like a white kind of layer. Yes, you're totally allowed and encouraged to say it that way. It's just a little bit of the oil because it's cold in the basement. Basically, it's probably been like, well, the oil's been warmed up previously and then it's cooled down, and so it just sits on top a little bit. So you can just kind of massage it in, and it's going to make your leather a lot more supple anyway. It'll help it look better too. Like that. right, so we're down to 1, 2, 3. Apparently that is actually where that brown one's supposed to go. 4, 5, 6, 7. Really? Sweet. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alrighty. Well, we will get everything clipped at the very least, and then we'll see how far we get with sewing. Actually, considering the fact that the glue has to be picked up, I think what I'll do is we will sew and top stitch while we're still sitting here. Then when I go in to pick up, or go in to set up, I will pick up the glue, and then we will be gluing labels tonight, as much as I hate doing that right now. It does only take technically 2 hours to set. Yeah, so we're just going to go with that. And then if I need to do any repairs tomorrow, I can in the morning, once I actually get to the event. Basically, repairs being like if the glue didn't spread all the way around the label, or like something like that. These D-rings are very high up on this bag. What the heck? Why are you so high? It's really high up on one side and it's not. It's the right. What happened here? It shifted. Damn it. Okay. No, that doesn't. No. So it's really crooked. And so if you add a D or a crossbody strap to that, that is going to be really crooked. It's like the right depth on this side, I think. Close enough. But this side, it's like, it's half the depth it's supposed to be, pretty much. And it's supposed to be like down this extra ½ inch. So this is going to go into the timeout. No, we're just going to seam rip it. Whatever. I don't even have my seam ripper here, but we'll just trim it, basically. Although I can't because of the interfacing. Damn it. Okay, nope. Into here. That one can just get cut. It's already got all its stuff, and we will finish it next week then. Damn it. That's annoying. Okay, well, moving on. At least that was an easy decision. Easy-ish decision. Let's do the Sakura, because it's the one that's also on the top of the pile. It would be fine if it was like an 1/8, maybe even 1/4 of an inch off, but a ½ inch is way too crooked. It's also way too high up on the bag because the seam allowance around the top is quite generous, which is good because it means that like all the layers get caught, but it also means that it would cut the amount for that one, it would cut the amount between the top and the drawstring, or the drawstring and the D-ring addition in half. So that's not going to fly. And having a crooked like crossbody strap point would just be embarrassing and annoying. Yeah, that one's better. Okay. Yeah, I think I actually did have black for this originally, or at least that's what I intended. But I like the brown because it does warm it up and like complement the pinks really well, at least in this tone. So that's good. I'm glad that worked out. And we'll remember that for the gold background one as well, is that the brown would probably look really spectacular with it in particular. But that's going to look really nice. Very classy. All right. I actually remembered to do the drawstring before I stuffed it into stuffed them together. There are staples in here. Why are there staples? Ugh. Okay. Kids can't reach them up there. Like the little zipper clip-offs make sense because I probably took it upstairs and was like clipping zippers off into the bin so they didn't get scattered everywhere upstairs. Staples do not make sense. Maybe they do. I don't know. I don't remember how they would make sense though. Okay, I'm gonna clip this bag and then I'm gonna mute the mic because I'm gonna stuff my face with a granola bar, finish my coffee, and then we will continue on with this stream of consciousness once we finish this one. Sweet, and that does mean that we're down to 6 bags after this. And we have been at it for just over an hour. Awesome. That's why some days it's just not like with clipping the bags together last night, as much as I was annoyed that I had to wrap up when I did, it honestly was probably for the better because sometimes it's just better to walk away than continuing to make mess ups like that because that gets frustrating. It's usually like if my machine is throwing a tantrum, I try to switch projects because it's just like it just doesn't work sometimes. And I do find that machine problems are typically contagious, which means that if I go and sit like at the serger, it usually fights back as well. Not always, but like enough of the time that usually it's just better to walk away and do something else completely. Especially when it's a machine tantrum, it's not like I'm making mistakes because I'm tired. Okay, I will have my snack here. One moment and I'll be right back. Well, I'm just going to mute the mic. I'm probably still going to keep working just so you don't hear me crunch and munching on my granola bar. Did I just spill my coffee on myself? 100%. Is it a good thing that this shirt is coffee colored already? Also, yes. Oh, I can change it before I go into the city. That works too. Oh, it's only 10:15, which is impressive. I am glad I came straight downstairs. much as a run is usually better in the morning, it'll be just fine after dinner. All right. This is definitely one of the ones that did not get finished at Knit City. I know I cut it because I had the other two there. And I don't know how it got missed, unless it just didn't get past the cutting table, which could be too. Probably didn't get past the cutting table, basically. Because I'm pretty sure all the ones that I cut for myself for Knit City got finished. I can't remember now. I know that we had that massive order for Paula we had to finish, which was fine. But I thought that everything that I cut for myself was also like finished, actually. No, whatever. It's still here. It hasn't wandered off anywhere. It's not like it grows legs and walks off typically, so. What's this? Why? Okay. That might be why it was so warbly. What is going on? What is going on with you, bag? You are going to be a very snug lining is what you're telling me. Which is good and bad. It'll be fine. We'll make it work. But there is a massive warble right there. Damn it. Bum. If any of you fight back today really hard, you're not getting finished. Not like a bag is going to listen to that. Ugh, yeah, look at that. That's huge. So I think in this case we'll actually work from the exterior side, because there will be some stretch in the interior. Yeah, look at it. It's happy now. What the hell? Mostly happy. And then we're just going to have to kind of finesse that around. That is going to be tough to sew to the point where it might be worth just... I think this lining might be too small for this bag. I think is actually what's happened. Yeah, that's like a good... Okay, no. Into the timeout bin. That's why it didn't get finished, apparently. Actually, I was gonna say, let's go on to the next one that's got like white pockets, but the problem there is actually this one may be a bit smaller because its drawstrings are smaller. Okay. Boop. Come back here. We'll at least salvage the clips, because actually we won't take the clips for the strap off because the strap is fine. I don't know why I'm taking the clips off for the at all for the drawstring. That's dumb. So we'll put those back on, and then we'll clip the other side so that the drawstring stays on. It's like we'll salvage the clips, but no, I may as well preserve the work that I've done to put the drawstring in already. The side is hardly clipped anyway. Oh, it was. Okay, that's gonna fit this bag, I think, better. And let's hope that this one fits this bag better. these clips back on. So just remembered I gotta take my kids Valentine's shopping on Sunday. We have not gone out and done our Valentine's Day shopping, like card shopping for school yet. I just realized we should probably do that. Actually, maybe I'll just do that myself today, if I have time. Okay, there we go. I think that feels better already. Or at least I can make it work, it looks like. There we go, yeah. Okay, yeah, it's nowhere near as warbled. Warbly warbled, hopefully. Now, can you sometimes fix it by pinning the bejesus out of it? Yes. But that was too much. This is one that we'll be sewing from the interior to the exterior, just to kind of help mitigate any creases that we end up with, but it is definitely better than it was. Holy, all right. So like you saw, like there's a little bit here, but I think as soon as we turn it interior out or exterior out, I think we'll be fine. Or at least we can, like I said, we can kind of finesse it around. Yeah, that's better. So yeah, there's a little bit right there. We can work with that. But there's not like that gap of like, what was it? Probably a half an inch to an inch. And those are way too far apart. Maybe like 3/4 of an inch actually is probably closer to what it was. All right. Now, let's just hope that everything goes smoothly for sewing these in, because that could be our downfall here. If it goes smoothly for sewing in, let's hope that it also goes smoothly for that other thing, top stitching. Eek. Clip. Pretty even, so it'll be pretty easy sewing. Go. Clip in. There we go. Oh my goodness, yep, no, that's going to be it'll still work as a drawstring channel, but it's going to be a very short drawstring channel. Oops. No, it'll work, actually. How close are we? Are we able to line up the squares? No, that's fine. If I was able to, I would have, but it wouldn't, like, sit with the seams well, so we're not going to try to do that, at least on that side. Can always check this side because it's a different cut. Who knows? I know it's all cut from the same fabric, but sometimes things just sew up better. And actually we can, it looks like, on this side mostly match it up, at least. Now, of course, it could shift during sewing. Oh, it doesn't matter anyway. So it's matched on the inside, but it's not matched on the exterior. So that's fine. Go clip, clip, clips. All the way across. One more. So this clip at the end is integral for actually keeping this like flap down of the drawstring. The pattern does suggest that you actually baste this step and like baste in your drawstring channels as well as your leather, like your strap. It does not call for leather for the strap. That was my decision. I do not do that. I instead just sew one big seam. Mostly because I find that it doesn't really change much. If you're just starting into like bag making and stuff like that, go with the basting, because basically what it does is it just helps hold all your layers together, so you're not having to worry about stuff shifting as you're sewing the rest of the bag. You know it's like basted in there, and the basting stitches then go on the inside, so they are a smaller seam allowance than the actual seam allowance. And that's how you end up with that's why, like, I think most patterns don't call for you to even pull them out or anything like that. And you can use quite a long stitch length, because realistically it's not a structural stitch, it's a holding stitch. So if you also wanted to pull them out afterwards, you 100% could. It's easier to pull the like basting stitch, because they're not stop stitched at the beginning and ends, they're just kind of stitched into place. I do it for the actual drawstring channel. That's one of the steps I do because it helps hold that extra layer together in this situation. I guess realistically I could then baste the drawstring to the exterior, but nah, we're not going to do that. Alrighty, let's make sure that we are in such an arrangement that I have the correct linings with the correct bags now. I'm pretty sure that just the cats was not a confetti lining, so we're going to put the beige pockets there. Confetti lining with the alpaca pom-poms makes sense. Confetti lining with this, oh yeah, it's connected to it. With the green, it makes sense, but we need a black handle for it. So this is the one that's going into timeout for now. So we got like 3 or 4 out of the bunch that need to go into timeout, and that's fine. That's actually a pretty good number. Okay, your white with a beige pocket, that makes sense. And then, yeah, and then Shiba Inu with the confetti pocket makes sense as well. Alrighty. So we're down to 4 more bags to pin. And then we'll get in and actually sew them. So if you are in the Calgary area, I have a pop-up with Ancient Arts Yarns tomorrow, February 10th, from I think it's 10 to 4. They'll be doing studio tours, they'll have some food, they'll have us there, along with Ginger Snap. Well, they'll have me, and then they'll have Ginger Snap and Her Leather Co. And I'm signing up myself, not at the event. I keep forgetting steps. Anyway, so we'll be there. It's super exciting. It's going to be the maiden voyage of my new stand banner, so that's super exciting because I haven't had a new stand banner in quite a while. New and improved with its like darker font, which will be more like add readability, and then also like a tagline on it, so that for the casual passerby at shows and like stuff, they kind of get the 30-second spiel before or without even having to talk to me. So it's like, what is this lady doing and why is it special, sort of thing. So I'm excited to run it, test run it tomorrow. Alrighty, let's clip all these threads down like that. This one is super cute. I had a custom order for this in like all black from Knit City, and so this is the back cut of that, basically. The second cut, whatever you want to call it. I like calling it the back cut because when I'm cutting large box bags, I'm usually also cutting Kato bags, because I figured out that you could cut both from the same cut, And so now it's like, that's the back cut. Instead of being the second large box bag, it becomes the Kato bag instead. But in this case, we cut 2 Kato bags because I was like, this one is too adorable to not also come to the shop. Oh, and also if you are not in Calgary, shop update will be happening soon. I was going to commit to a date just then, and I was like, no, do you know what? I committed to a date after Airdrie, and then I completely fell through on it. So we will wait until I actually photograph products and have them pretty much loaded and ready to go before I commit to any shop updates. Because otherwise it won't come through again. So, and I don't want to keep doing that to y'all. Also, I do not know where that southern accent came from. We're just going to ignore it. Head down, ignore it. All right, there we go. Get this all clipped around. Also, so the order that I did was all black and it looked really good, but I'm really excited to see this one with a nice warm brown handle like this. And we picked up the warm brown with the webbing as well, but like that already looks really good. I'm excited. But that is the awesome thing about custom orders, because with this I would naturally gravitate, well obviously I naturally gravitated towards the browns in it and picking up the browns, but she's like, nope, I want all black. And I'm like, perfect, that makes it easy for both of us, eh? And that's why we offer custom orders. So there we go. If you are looking to get a pick your own order, this is actually the time to get the order in. I'm going to be working on Boxing Week stuff. It does still say an 8 to 10 week turnaround period because that's just the way life is going right now. I did that specifically for the Boxing Week sale because we obviously had Disney right afterwards, and then I knew I was going straight into doing prep for Creekside, so I didn't want to like crunch anything too much. Okay, this is another one where actually the lining is too large for the bag. Okay, I think we're gonna kind of just might be worth going in and actually making the seam smaller. We'll see how the rest of these pin out. I'll set that kind of like not completely aside, but like as an aside, because I think, okay, so this is a confetti one, and then actually the one for the paper airplanes is the same pocket setup. So if we need, we could always swap them again, because that might actually be the best option to get a better quality bag. All right. Go. So this is really cool because it is a lot of like highlights. Like, if you go to Japan, these are the top 10 sites you need to see, sort of things. Anyway, I like it for that. So it's got Kinkakuji, which is the Golden Pavilion. It's got, I think this is the Meiji Jingu main hall, or it might be actually the Daibutsuden at Nara. Probably Daibutsuden at Nara. This is Kinkakuji, which is the Golden Pavilion, a pagoda, may or may not be Toji in Kyoto. I'm pretty sure this is Osaka-jo, which is Osaka Castle. There's Takoyaki, Fushimi Inari, the Sky Tree in Tokyo, Tokyo Tower, obviously, Fuji. This is the gate at Miyajima, Onsen, Dango. So I just really like it because it's like a whole. Oh, and then these are. So lots of people do these Jizo for. Oh, and then this is the Kamakura Buddha. Anyway, these little guys like can be Jizo for like if you have a miscarriage or a lost a stillbirth or something like that. More specifically, miscarriages. They actually call them water births or water babies. So it can be in memoriam, but you also see them a lot as like little protectors on like trails for safety and things like that. That's more what I associate them. Well, I associate them with both. This one also has its like crossbody, like the D-rings are really off. Okay, 1 second, let me see. When you set it down, yeah, it's noticeable. Okay, alrighty. That's okay. We've got most of the work done, and that is something that's easy to fix when I've got the time for it. Next week. So I think it's looking like next. So Monday I gotta try and wrap up all my taxes, or at least get the majority of it done. I'm gonna try and get us to 90% on taxes on Monday, and clean up the cutting table. That's the other. We gotta clean up the cutting table because I can't do pick your own orders if I don't have a tidy cutting table. Because I need to be able to like cut the fabrics. This one also looks like it's, yeah, because I got to trim down the top. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this, but anyway, what I was trying to get at is we'll do that, and then Wednesday is going to be, you know what I should start doing is I should start measuring it up from the canvas, because the canvas is a much more reliable line. Now, could I, yeah, because it's like, my goodness. Okay. Well, so Wednesday, I think, is what I'm trying to get at is I think Wednesday will be the repair day for these Kato that are obviously having D-ring issues. That's what we're going to go with. Not user error on Katie's part, D-ring issues, which is an error on their part. Yeah, well, we'll have gotten through about, I don't know. What I was thinking there's about 22 here. So that means we will get through about 18 of them. That's pretty good. And we didn't cut anything new except for webbing. So that is an accomplishment. Are you long enough? You feel really short. You technically are, I think. Why are you so short? Okay, whatever. Tick, tick, tick. Okay, I'm going to finish up this clipping in, and then I'm going to run up to the washroom. Coffee has caught up with me, and then I'm also at a good like transition point from going from clipping to sewing, and I can have a little bit of a transition moment for my brain to get into sewing mode. I'll have to come back downstairs and swap the thread because it is currently set to black. I know I said I was going to sew the housekeeping cap pockets when I had it set to black, but we're not going to. I'm not going to tease myself that way. And now actually that we've got all of these kind of clipped and ready to go, I can put the ones that are timed out right now into the bin to actually get sewn next week. Because I do know that the Kato are extremely popular, so I do want to get them finished up. And then the nice thing with the pick your own orders is that will be a good like, it'll kind of break the analysis paralysis of what I'm supposed to like be making with those fabrics. Because someone else has decided. And I also want to get through and actually get the lined drawstring bags done, because that'll help clear up a lot of cuts that's like they've just been hanging around because I stopped producing wedge bags and they've been cut for wedge bags. So now they've incidentally been cut for reversible drawstring bags. I've also got drawstring bags that were just like, I've talked about this last week, but they were just serged on the interior and then like seamed up. And it's just like, I am not, like I didn't advertise them well. They didn't do well when I launched them at Knit City because I didn't advertise them well. Because I was like, it's all right, but I'm not super committed to them. But these reversible drawstring bags, I actually have it down here, so I'll show you once I'm done clipping this stuff together. Oh right, we were gonna maybe use this for the Shiba Inu, but this bag is fitting really well together, so we're not going to. I think with the Shiba Inu bag, right? Because that's the one. Oh no, it was the just the cats one. I think with this just the cats, I think part of what we'll do is we'll flip it to the exterior, and I'll just take a look at it from here. And if nothing else, what I can do is, because it's the lining is actually too large, we could just take it in and just take up the seams a little bit, and I think that's going to be the best option. I don't think I even really need to unclip bit from. Okay, let's throw those in there like that. We will need white thread to do it, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to like throw it down, and we'll just throw a stitch line along here that's a little bit just tighter even up at the top, because it seems like it's sitting really nicely in the bag itself. Yeah, but it just needs that little bit of an uptake at the top here so that it's sitting pretty and not warbled and not causing issues for the exterior. Okay, I'll show you. So there's that ready to go, and then I just realized, oh, I do have it, but it's like buried right now. Anyway, it's a reversible drawstring bag. It's super cute. So yeah, we'll work on a few things like that next week. So these timeout bags and that. Right now I'm going to go to the washroom, and then I'm going to come back and we will actually swap the thread and start getting these assembled together for tomorrow. So give me like 5 to 10 minutes and I'll be back. All right, good news. I have returned. I should have clipped my mic onto my shirt. Sorry. I'm just gonna like hold this up to my mouth while I like sew with my other hand, and that's not happening. I need both hands. Good news though is that needs to be fixed. That's right. I found black leather for that floral burst, so that is super exciting. I was like, where did this cut go? I swear I cut it the other day when I was already cutting everything else. Like, where is it? So I went and looked at like where it was most likely to be, and it was literally sitting right there, right on top of where it basically was supposed to be, if it wasn't with these guys. So we get to do the floral burst as well. Now let's just hope that my machine does not throw a tantrum and we can get the stuff sewn together, and then we can also get the top stitching done before I have to leave in like 45 minutes. Probably not, but well, I don't have to leave right then, but I do need to get everything unloaded and loaded and into the city because I also want to avoid like rush hour. And there are some errands to do in the city and around. Get down there. Yeah, sweet. And down and around and clipped. Okay. Ba-ba-ba. Scoot, scoot, clip, and clip. And we're going to go across here, pull it up. So the really cool story behind this one is that I saw it in No More Taylor and I was like, oh my goodness, I love it. I love the like, it's like a marigold gold yellow on here, and then this super bright pink, and the background, like it just comes together. I really like the kind of like dandelion puff of it, which is really fun and different. But the super cool thing is that I bought this one in May when I was there with Caroline, and like a day or two later we went to the geisha dances in the Kamagawa Odori, which is in Pontocho, and geisha, or Maiko, actually in front of us, had an obi in not the same pattern but very similar and like in basically the same colors. The only difference being that obviously her obi was silk, and so the colors were a very different vibrancy than this, but it was like so cool to see. It's just one of those fabrics where it's like, well, there is way more of a story behind it than expected, and like totally coincidental, because it's like if we had gone to a show the day that I actually bought the fabric, or like even a later show the day that we went or whatever, we wouldn't have seen her. So just a really happy coincidence in some ways. All right, oh, I don't need a second clip there. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to take up the seam, side seam at the top of that cat one. And then I also need to move the camera around for this upper view, because I don't want you having to stare at the back of my head and my shoulder the whole time I'm sewing, and that's what would happen at that angle. There we go. Sweet, we're almost there. Yeah, look at that. Oh, okay, clipped. I'm gonna throw everything down in the work bin now. And then we gotta swap the thread. In the bin puff. Actually, here is that reversible drawstring bag. So one thing this does really drive home is I need like a little minimalist tag to actually sew into like the side or this like lip up here. Obviously it's not perfect, I didn't catch that completely, but that can be fixed. And then I'll get a ribbon drawstring top, and it is reversible. Again, something that I kind of wanted from the beginning, but I didn't want to commit to actually having to sew a lined drawstring bag, but I do think it's probably got a market. And it's just super cute. It'll use the cuts from the small box bags that aren't going to really get used without having to do a bunch of finagling or making small box bags, or small wedge bags, which I'm kind of like still debating about. So we'll go with this for a little bit. Obviously there won't be any pockets or anything like that, but it's a nice straightforward, really soft, squishable bag that you can just like crunch up and put your project into. Anyway, and I've got a bunch that are like need to be repurposed into that anyway. All right, clips in that over there. We are going to actually, yeah, if I'm sewing, yeah, you're not going to be able to see anything over my shoulder. All right, let me move this to just me. Hello. Nice big view of my face as I like struggle with my tripod, because you know, why would this be easy? It's got like a really wide stable base, but it is not very good for small spaces. It's like far less customizable than my previous tripod, which is actually kind of annoying and very interesting as well. Whee! Okay, bring in the camera way down and in, and the ring light as well. And then let's see how that looks on studio mode here. We'll move my phone cable up and out of the way. Take the pop socket off the back so I don't overheat my phone too bad, or at all, hopefully. Sweet, we actually have a pretty decent desk view today, which is awesome. Like how when it just like comes together super easy. Actually set it in its cradle well. Okay, there we are. Alrighty. Okay, so we're gonna swap the thread. That's the first step. Swap the thread, swap the thread, swap the thread. White thread, white thread, white thread, white thread, white thread. We'll have to go back to black thread later when we're doing top stitching, but whatever. White thread for interiors because they are such light interiors. Well, and I guess even like putting them together, you want the white thread because you don't want the black thread showing through on the light or beige interiors, even with the darker fabrics. So, all right. Also, if you're getting distracted by the Band-Aid, or you weren't until I mentioned it, yes, I am injured because my hands have been fighting winter, and winter has won once again. So, and I always forget to moisturize my hands, and I should be doing that more just as a habit when I sit down at the machine. But do I? No. Should I? Yes. Like many other things. Could I? 100%. I actually have lotion right there. There we go. It is also, however, it's 100% a cold thing, I think. So, because they recovered quite a bit when it was warmer over like the beginning or the end of January. And now they're back to being like, we're very mad about it being cold and miserable right now. Okay. Black bobbin out in the drawer. White bobbin in. Yep, let's go in the right direction. Pop it in here. Close this up. Or pull it up. Not close it up. And then what we're going to do is I'm just going to basically pull all of this out of the way. We're going to start at the top of the pockets because that's where I've backstitched in the past as well. And then we're just gonna walk this over like a 1/4 inch, because that'll actually take up a 1/2 inch of fabric, because it's off of both sides. And that actually feels like it fixed it. Sweet. Okay, that was totally a guess whether that was going to work or not. But I like when my guesses work. Okay, so that means that this side actually feels like it is mostly good, but it needs about the same. So we're just going to do the same, basically, about that 1/4 inch again. And then we're just going to blend it in to the top stitch or the back stitch at the top of the pocket. Because again, it doesn't need to go through the whole bag. It just needs to go in at this top where it's like the lining and like interior and exterior are meeting. Now, is it perfect? No. I think we could actually do with just one tuck more, basically. And then I think it'll be happy. Okay, so we're going to do one more tuck on this side. Again, about that same amount taken up. Yeah, okay, because there's enough on both sides to do that. So one more. So this one will have a few extra seams on its interior, but I always figure that that is better. Anyway, it's a little bit more structure to the bag, and that feels like it is going to be good enough, at least. Yeah, especially once you finesse it around. I think we'll probably sew it like this. And we're good up here, so we're going to pull this up. And then I'm going to trim that just a touch so that we don't have all this extra fabric now sitting in the interior of the bag. And we're going to do the same on this side as well. Again, we're not going to trim it all the way down. We're just going to trim it at the top where we've done the fix. And now we're going to sew it. Oops, I think. Actually, we're going to flip it and we're going to sew it the other direction again, just because it's like... There. Alrighty. Let's do this, folks. Line up my stitch, my seam allowance. Try and get a little bit more light in here. I really do need to get another one of those lights that goes along the neck of the sewing machine, because I didn't realize just how much extra light that actually added. I knew it did, theoretically, but I didn't realize just how much brighter it made the neck of the machine until it died. And I did pick up some like LED strip lighting from IKEA. Oops. That is the leather. Okay, get over. But I don't think it's going to work. So I think what I'm going to use it for is I'm going to actually put it underneath the shelf that's behind me. And it'll help add some like ambient lighting behind me. And when I'm actually working on that desk, it's going to be good too, I think. Okay, I'm going to start winding my next white bobbin here. Make sure that's actually winding. Good. I'm going to go and finish this up. Okay, I'm going to put this on there a little bit of tension for the interior so it's not too buckly as we get to this other end here. Should I be using my stiletto? Yes. I don't really want my fingers that close to it, but whatever. We'll deal with it. One down. Next. Line up the seam allowance as best as I can. Actually, the main reason I'm not using... Oh, I do have a stiletto up here. Like, the main reason I'm... Oop, and sorry. The main reason I'm not using a stiletto is I don't know where my stiletto is, because I was thinking about my stiletto and seam ripper combo. But I do actually have a stiletto here, so let's use it. As I get stuck on my zipper drawer. Okay, so the stiletto is basically like a third or a pointier hand. So now I can use it to guide the fabric without putting my hand underneath the actual needle. Much better. As my other hand gets close, but you know. Now when I'm thinking about it, I do backstitch over the drawstring because, again, points of high stress, we want more stitching rather than less stitching. I do not backstitch over the leather, even though it is a point of stress, because every hole you put in leather, you cannot take out. And so it's just like, I always think of it as like, I don't want to put more holes in the backstitch because that actually could weaken the leather. So that's why we're not doing it over. If it was webbing, 100%, I would be backstitching over it day and night. So, but everything else, no. Okay, we're gonna just kind of ease this around here, try and get any real crinkles out. And then we're going to try and match up where we started with where we end, like that. And there is, oop, and there's another one done. Okay, and we're going to move all of our cutting, well, we're going to leave those cutting implements. And we don't need the ruler right now. And these clips can get moved out of the way. The neck of the sewing machine is just getting crowded, so I want to clear that out a little bit so it's not quite so much in my actual, like, the throat of my sewing space. There we go. Okay. Now we have to be vigilant that we don't run out of bobbin thread, because that is the worst on these bags, because you'll just be ticking along. Everything's going smooth. You're happy because it's like, these things can fight, and they can fight hard. But yeah, the worst part is like running out of bobbin thread when you're like just ticking along nice and smooth. Okay, I was like, did I actually just run out of bobbin thread? But no, we're good. Talking about how much of a pain it is to run out of bobbin thread. The other thing about running out of bobbin thread is that's usually when my machine fights me the worst, is when I'm putting the new bobbin in, to be honest. And for whatever reason, black thread is worse than white thread with my machine. It could be that I actually need to change up the bobbin tension on the like the bobbin case tension, but we're not going to discuss the fact that I don't. That's just how it is. Okay, we're going to sew this one from the inside because I want to make sure that the drawstring channel there is cool, has quite a generous selvage. Okay, but we're good there. Backstitch, and then sometimes, if I remember as well, we do it over the side seams, because why not? We're already there with the drawstring anyway. And then before we turn these, I do also have to, ooh, what is going on here? There we go. Flatten everything out. Before I turn these, I have to remember to trim down the leather, because otherwise you end up with like a weird warble on the exterior, which is one annoying thing about the leather compared to like working with like a webbing or something like that, because the webbing wouldn't leave that warble. But whatever. Leather is what popped into my head is the leather is bougie, which, yeah, okay, that's about right. Elevates the experience, I guess. I don't know. I think bougie is probably the best description of that. The other thing I need to do is I actually need to get a wrench and tighten. There's like a nut underneath, and as you move the light back and forth, it actually loosens the nut. So I need to actually get a wrench and tighten up the nut for the lamp, and that would help a lot about keeping it actually in the location it's supposed to be. And I don't want to like shine it towards myself too much, because otherwise it blinds me, because it's an LED light, and so it's like just a very bright experience. Sometimes you can actually hear when the bobbin thread has run out, so that's why I was like, wait, has it run out? No, we're still good. We're still fine. Just keep sewing, Katie. Everything's okay so far. Okay, come on. Get the proper seam allowance. Over the leather there. And this actually, the interior needs to go up, and that will reduce the wrinkles, if not completely vanish them. And the exterior is still getting caught because I just felt the like line of the thing, the drawstring channel. And there's the leather, and we're back to the start. Perfect. Okay, what time is it? Just after 11. Excellent. So I may probably won't get these top stitched, but we'll be able to get them all sewn. And maybe we can also get them turned. I think that's probably a generous goal right now. So, and well, an achievable goal right now. And then we'll go unload and repack the truck. I also went through and like put all the bags away into the drawers last week because I was like, I'm on a tidy spree. And let's put them in the drawers so that they're out of the suitcases, and then the suitcases can go in the storage room. And totally forgetting that I had a pop-up this weekend. So I should have just left the bags packed. So annoyed with myself. I was like, no, Katie, just created more work for yourself. And that is the moral of the story about why my studio sometimes just stays a disaster. Not an actual disaster, but definitely, well, that's why they're the creative chaos, because it's just like, whatever. It's chaotic. I try to work to make it safe and keep it safe, but that's really all you can ask. That's the goal. If it's the reality is another thing. Oh dear. Okay. Also, it looks like we've got one more bobbin on that spool of thread. It's hanging on for dear life. And then we're actually switching thread brands. So hopefully that works out. It's the same weight and everything like that, so I don't see it being an issue, but you never know. Okay, that last little bit needs to be redone because that seam allowance was way too small. Let's get this back underneath. There we go. The leather threw it off. And then it was like, I'm not going to sew on the line that you want me to. But we got it fixed. Okay. All right. So typically with your clips, when you are putting them in, you want them flat side down, but because I've like clipped these and then turned them, some of them are like curved side down. It's not the worst thing, but it is a little bit annoying. little bit harder to like take off as you're coming up to them. Because they catch, because they're curved, whereas the flat just like pull off super nice. But that's okay. A small drop in the complaint bucket. Okay, but I do have to say that these are coming together very smoothly, which hopefully just continues for the rest of these and for the rest of the day. That's just smooth and easy like this. Like I said, some days not so much. Today apparently is just good. And actually, the sun is also coming out. When I went up to the washroom, it was very nice to see. I still can't, yeah, I probably won't open the blinds, mostly because it's like, I don't want to lose what heat I have right now. But we'll see. I might. Usually what I try to do is open up the blinds so that I can catch like the sunlight and the heat from that sunlight. And then close them up when it starts going down. But I'm not going to be around to be able to like monitor it that way, so. Perfect. Okay. Okay, this one looks like it could actually use the sewing from the other side as well. Okay, yeah, because that should work if I do that. Hopefully, it's good on one side, the other side's a little bit warbly, but I think we'll be okay. Ease it in here a bit better, and that's where we'll start. No, because that is still, there we go. There, I think that'll work. Okay, I think we're getting there. Sweet, this should be the easy side. Awesome. All right. So even that one that could have potentially been an issue, looks like it has come together pretty well, at least. Well enough. Okay, there we go. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 left. Awesome. We will definitely be able to sew all of these at least before I need to head out. 10, 10, 10. Okay. think that one might need a bit of finessing along the drawstring. Oh, we might be okay. It's a really thick selvage again. We're okay for most of the way, it looks like, but it looks like it might have been caught. Needs to be caught a little bit more in places. Let's see how much is actually. Oh, yeah, it does. Okay. Let's just do that while I'm thinking about it. So, more generous seam allowance. So, basically, that was the basting stitch. Okay, let's go in by like 1/8 of an inch. It's not much, but it does need to be stitched down a little with a little bit more generous seam allowance. It's fine. That should be good this time. Let's just turn it because I already got it look anyway. Choop, 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 choop. There we go. And yep. We're good. Sweet. 80. So that is this one ready for top stitching. It is freaking adorable. Oh my goodness, that turned out. Look at that. That's so good. Super cute. And then if you get one of the tags from up here, and then it goes like right here. Oh yeah, that's a really nice tone actually for a lot of these. So that goes on the canvas bottom here and looks very dapper. Oh, you can't see it from there. That is exciting because this is a new color that I haven't used for tags before actually, so. All right, let's get some more of these off of here. And then we'll go in and get this sewn. Boom, boom, boom. All right, see you later, clip. Obviously totally able to do this like on a flatbed sewing machine, but like I said, the cylinder arm would be a lot easier for this sort of project because basically you pop it on and this foot is on a cylinder, so it's just like around, way easier. It's almost too bad that there weren't like places to go rent machines to just like, or like a rental space so you could just go in and use it for projects that you needed it for. And not to like, not somewhere that like you go in and rent it and it comes to your house sort of thing. That would be, no. But like a spot you could go rent a sewing machine or a cylinder machine for whatever your projects were or whatever. Just to even see if it's something that you would use regularly before you actually committed to buying one, if you're like contemplating it. It's one thing that I do like. So I bought my sewing machine from Mason Sewing. because honestly, they were one of the only people who answered me when I emailed them, and weren't snarky about it. Well, totally, like, you could just tell it's like, yeah, we'll totally take your money. We don't care. And that's fine. Because I interacted with some of the sewing machine places in Edmonton, and they were like, well, you should be able to find a supplier closer to you. And I'm like, why do you think I'm emailing you? If I could find this closer to me reliably from someone who would actually answer my emails, I would totally buy from them. But no. So I went to Mason Sewing when I was out for Knit City one year, and I got to go test the machine because it's like I didn't know what I wanted or what I needed. They are very knowledgeable. They have been very good ever since. About like, I had an issue with my control box a few years ago, or pretty much right after I got it, and it was like on the fritz and it wouldn't work. So they just sent me a new one. They've just been really good to deal with. But anyway, I wish there was kind of like something in between, like having to go purchase and like, yeah, access without like having to purchase a machine. Just rent a space for a day sort of thing. Or 2 or 3 or something. I don't know how that would actually work, so probably not something that's realistic. But it would be cool if it could happen. Like, I guess almost like a car share, but for like sewing machines and like other like crafting equipment, I guess. So like you could do like have a leather strap cutter and like, I don't know. It would, I guess the problem with that is like so many people do so many different things, and most artists are so multidisciplinary that like you may not be able to supply what people need. There'd also be a massive upfront cost, and if there's no interest, then what are you going to do, sort of thing. But I guess that might be something that like happens in artist collectives and things. I don't know. There. But yeah, like if you, it would be kind of cool if it was like a multidisciplinary space, and then like not quite like a workshop, because, or like with classes and things like that. I guess a workshop, but like an artist's collective workshop. A try it on space, I guess. Even as an event, that would be kind of cool to just have like something that's like, here, come try all these machines. Demos. Demo a strap cutter so that you know if you want it or not, and blah, blah, blah. Although I'm pretty sure that's stuff that like, ooh, okay. Ooh, we just ran out of bobbin thread and we need to actually take in this interior. So that worked out extremely well. I've been fighting the warble all the way around that bag, but it came to a head right here. So we can fix that seam. We'll swap the bobbin thread, and then, yeah, we'll take in this seam a little bit. And then we will, how far, it only needs about 1/8 of an inch. It's enough to make it an issue, though. Swap our bobbins and wrap up. Actually, it's a suggestion I keep seeing for like ADHDers and people who like to try a lot of stuff but don't necessarily stick with it. Is like a service where you basically like, here was my creative obsession for a while, but it didn't stick, or I'm just done with it, and you could like pass it around as a service. We need something like that, kind of, for like artisans. I guess that's almost in some ways what the idea of Kickstarter is, right? So, although that's more for like products, I guess. There we go. Yeah. And I would totally be buying that sort of thing off of Marketplace, but the problem is with Facebook Marketplace and these products is that they hold their value, which is awesome, But they rarely come up in the areas that I have access to buying them in. So like a leather strap cutter very rarely comes up for sale, like if ever, in southern Alberta. And that's always like, is it in the budget or not? And usually the answer is no, but that's okay. I would much prefer the person getting their value out of it than not to. There we go. All right, that is much better. Eek. Get under there. You're nested that way for a reason. And that reason is to be pretty. Excellent. Okay, we should be down to like, looks like 5 more. 5 more. Let's do this. Come on, go under. Thank you. Sweet, here we go. 4 more. 4 more. We're gonna get interiors and exteriors done for sure. It's all the other work we don't know about yet. Because there's always work with these ones that I forget about. Like, you gotta cut the leather straps before you can like actually assemble the interior and exterior. Something sounds mad. Which actually, do you know what? It's probably the needle. I probably need to swap my needle out. I keep saying I'm supposed to swap my needle, and then I keep not doing it. So, let's sew this bag, and then we'll swap the needle since we've got some extra time right now. And then we will go in and we will... I feel like this bag is going to be chaotic once I actually turn it. Hopefully not too bad. But it does feel like all the layers are on a little bit of a shift here. Which means that's not good for necessarily the... how nice the exterior looks. So hopefully it came together. But yeah, everything's a little bit mad. So we'll change the needle here. It's just having a little bit of an issue getting... Ow. Oh, okay, the needle's fine. Could have been the bobbin thread too, who knows. Like I said, when you swap the bobbin is when it's usually the angriest, so... who knows? We still do need to change the... Well, actually, no, that's a pretty sharp needle. Apparently you're supposed to change your needles like every 8 hours, and it's like, really? I don't know anyone who actually does change their needle every 8 hours. I think there's some people, like, if you're sewing a garment, and that makes a lot of sense, because a lot of those seams are very visible. And we will swap this for top stitching, because that's going to be extremely visible stitching, and that's fine, but yeah. What is going on here? Oh, nothing too bad. It just needs to be scooted back a little bit. There we go. Evened up a little bit. Okay, no, this interior also needs to have its seam kind of taken in on this side as well. Okay, that totally was a leather clip. That's okay. Leather is still there and I can hold it. Now we'll take this out from under the machine and I will take in the seam. Because apparently that is a recurring theme for the day, is that the side seams are not matching well. Okay. Whatever, it's still a pretty easy fix at this point. And better to fix it now than be upset with it later. Ooh, yeah, look at that. That is a lot of extra fabric. All right, I see you. Gonna need to take probably about a 1/2 inch in on this one. Again, we're not going to take it out of the pockets. We're going to we will blend in this new stitch line with the pocket stitch line because that just makes sense rather than going up the whole thing. It doesn't need that much extra thread. Let's see if that worked. I don't think that was a full 1/2 inch, but it'll be better than it was at least. Actually, I think that was, no, not quite enough. Almost. I probably need another, let's go another 1/4 inch from that seam line. Just shy of a 1/4 inch. There we go. Yeah, sweet. Now it is tightened up to the interior here. We're going to lay it this way so that the seams are better. Yeah, all right. On the go fixes. So that we don't have to take the whole bag apart and it fits better. Sweet, okay. We've got 2 more to go and then we can turn everything and then it'll be lunchtime and time to pack the truck. I will not be taking you along to stream me packing the truck because that is when the swearing is most likely to happen. And yeah, and it would be hard to set the camera up, or at least for a live stream in the garage where you're actually able to even hear me, because obviously with this mic, with the lav mic, it's connected directly to my laptop. So probably what I'll do is I'll film it and just post it later. That's what we're gonna do. Or at least that's what I'll try to do. We'll see if the footage actually turns out or not. And it's not like this is a super intense pack either. It's like going to be like a couple racks and some grid wall hooks and the grid actually. All right, I got to find the grid and the grid boxes and the something. I also have to pack the suitcases. That's the other big thing, is actually getting the product up, like packed and into the truck too. Actually, that's the bigger issue, is getting all of it packed without forgetting stuff. I totally forgot stuff for like when I went to Airdrie, so it's like, of course. Back stitch. You gotta go back and forward, Katie. Sweet. Okay, here we go. Last one for today. Probably a good thing that a few of these got pulled out, because it's like I didn't have to decide what ones didn't make the cut today. I like when that happens. As much as I'm also annoyed that I'm not going to be able to clear all the Kato we've worked on. It's like, well, at least they're mostly done, and there are legitimate reasons that they're not getting finished today, because like those D-ring tabs being so wonky is just, ugh. What was the other one? I think it was just the D-ring tabs were wonky, right? At least that was the majority of why they got pulled, I think. I can't actually remember, but I think it's D-ring tabs. All right. There is interiors to exteriors. Why are you rusted? That's weird. All right. Now what we'll do is we'll turn these out, and then we can pop them into the whip bin, and then when I get back we can just pull them out and top stitch them. So the goal being that I will go, I'll go set up, and then I will come back and I'll do a bit more work before the kids have to be picked up. Although if I did wait like an extra hour, I could probably just go straight to pick up the kids. It just feels like it's cutting it tight, and I do need, there's too much work to do in the truck to mess around with, like, I'll go up in an hour. No, be better to err on the side of caution. I have to trim down the leather. Okay, so this is why I have to trim down the leathers, because when the leather goes down, it makes these little pockets. Like, that is because of the leather. And we still need to, like, top stitch. So if I trim the leather down, then you don't end up with this line in your bag. It just, ugh. Okay. Not a big deal, just annoying to forget before I actually turn the bag, because it's so much easier before I turn the bag itself too. Right, because basically, because of the seam allowance, now you've got a bunch of this leather sticking out, and it's very stiff. Again, when you're using webbing or like webbing, I think that's actually the suggested material for this, but when you're using webbing, no big deal. Webbing, however, for this on the wrist is not as nice. I like it. I don't mind it on the tote bags and stuff like that, and the big bags, but I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want it here, like on my skin, sort of thing. If you don't mind it, all the power to you. But I also prefer the look of it with the leather. All right, now we don't have that weird warble, at least not as much. Sweet. Okay, so remember to trim down leather. Leather, 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 leather. Leather, leather. All right. That one. Leather. Just open up the seam allowance here. Trim it down. Basically like leaving 1/8 of an inch or so behind. Leather is leather, so that should be sufficient to hold everything. Momentary panic while I think that, like, I don't actually have a turning point. That's easy enough to fix. You either can like pick out the wedge, or you can pick out like a turning point at the base. It's just a pain in the butt. And because I'm like, where is my seam ripper? I wouldn't really be able to do it right now anyway. So there we go. Oh, it looks so good. I'm glad I found the leather to finish this one. Nice and cheery and bright and ready for spring, which I think at this point we all are. I know I am already. I am not a winter person, but super cute. And then it's got like gold D-ring tabs as well, so it just helps lighten it up a little bit with all the black. I just realized we're going to turn you a little bit more this direction so that you can see what I'm actually turning as I'm turning it. Okay. So yeah, we'll do, what time is it? 20 to 12. So we'll go through and we will turn all of the bags that I just finished sewing. And that's where we'll call it quits on the live stream. I'll go get some lunch and we will load the truck and the bags. Granted, if I don't get all the bags loaded today, that's not a big deal because I will still be there in the morning, hopefully. It does look like my sister-in-law will not be back tonight. Looks like everything is delayed. It looks like it's actually Winnipeg's fault. It looks like it's like Winnipeg's airport that is the problem. But given the horror story she was saying that the weather has been the past few days, it makes sense. Although this morning it was like she was snapping the, this is my last breakfast and coffee here, and all of that, so. Apparently not. I guess that is the one big, like, downfall of traveling in the wintertime is, like, the potential for weather delays. or not the potential, the reality of weather delays. So that is actually another good reason to make sure that we are, if we're going to Japan in February, we've got a few days around, like if we're in the marathons, we have a few days around arrival, because we can always shift plans on the fabric. We can't really shift plans for a marathon. Okay, apparently there's still pocket threads here, so we're just going to trim those down before we get this stuffed in and double checked. Go like that. Then we're going to turn this down here like that, and we're good. Oh, that looks really good with that brown leather. This also looked really classy with the black as well, but I really like the brown on it. Just making sure. I'll double check a lot of the seams before I turn it. As much as I can double check, I'll double check before, just to save myself some hassle if there's anything like super obvious before I turn it. Leather. Must trim down the leather nub. Leather nub, leather nub, leather nub. Leather nub. Leather nubs need to be trimmed. Trim the nubs. Trim the nubs. There we go. There we go. Okay, that one's actually fine. Did I trim one and not the other? Or is that just how it ended up panning out, sewing it? Who knows? Doesn't matter. Good. Trim the leather. Trim the leather. This feels like something that I should probably just add into the process that's like a separate step before I turn anything. Rather than doing it on each individual bag as I'm turning them, just so I don't forget. Maybe that'll happen one day. Is today that day? No. No, it is not. There we go. It's a good call though, because I am ready for lunch. I'm hungry. Come on. Turn out. There we go. So that's technically called birthing a bag. It is not as painful as birthing a baby most days. Sweet, that bag is looking good. Very nice. This bright blue has always been a really good color for that print. Leather, leather, leather. Trim it down. Trim it down. Like that. There we go. Cute. Okay, I'm really glad I went with the confetti print on the interior of that as well, because it's just so happy with that exterior. do actually have to come home before kiddos because I was like, I'm going to feed them pizza pops. That's right. And we're going to have truck pizza pops. Because it's Friday night. And I've got a show tomorrow. So pizza pop night it is. Have we already eaten pizza pops this week? Yep. Has it been hard to feed them recently? Outside of pizza? Yes. So we're just... we'll keep giving them other stuff, but we're just going to feed them what they'll eat tonight instead of having a fight on our hands. Not that they really fight, but like... they just end up not eating, and then they're hungry later, which makes sense because they haven't eaten dinner yet. And it's just like, come on, eat your dinner. It's tasty. I promise. We've got an issue though right now where it's like, it's too spicy, is what they say. And I think what it is it's more like, it's not that it's too spicy actually, but it's like a lot of flavor and sensation. And the only way that, like, the only vocab that they have to describe that right now is it's too spicy. So it's like, oh. And we're not like, we are trying to get them spice tolerance too. It's not like we're trying to withhold spice. But they'll say it about like bubbly water. Bubbly water is not spicy, but all I can think of is that the bubbles on their tongue is like a really intense sensation. And so like it would be a very similar and intense sensation as like too much spice. So I think that's where it's coming from, because like our youngest has said it about bubbly, they've said it about like ginger ale, all of that. So I can't tell. I think it's either like a flavor or and sensation, or just sensation. I think kind of a combo. So, because they got pretty sick over Christmas and had hit a point of like, if they hadn't picked up when they did, they would have been going to urgent care. But we tried to give them some Pedialyte for like the electrolytes and like some recovery. Also because they weren't eating anything. They had a stomach bug, so that was fun. But they were saying that was too spicy. And I think that was mostly because it was like too much, like too intense of a flavor. But I know they'll eat pizza pops. Oh yeah, okay, I'm glad. I'm pretty sure I did cut a black one for this one, but I really like the brown with it instead. So it just like helped. It looks very much like cherry bark, which is kind of the cool part of it. So, and it warms up the bag nicely as well. I'm very much looking forward to flowers this year. So these floral prints are quite nice. Oh yeah, that just looks good. I like how full this print is. Don't always like when it's like super, has like a bunch of print like that. I sometimes like the little bit more scattered print, but I do really like that very full sakura scatter. It's probably because that's actually kind of what it looks like when you're underneath the sakura trees. Now that I think of it, if I actually think about it, it's probably it. With a little like peaks of the like sky through the flowers basically. Obviously won't work when it's like yellow background, but it works for the blue one, so that's what I'm going to go with. Maybe we'll say with the yellow one, it's like sky at sunset or something like that. I don't know. And that's super fun too. So Shiba Inus with their bones. Nice smiley Shiba there. Actually, both of the drawstrings have some sort of Shiba Inu on it. Looks really good with the red, and again, that nice warm brown handle. Good, good. Okay, the drawstring did get caught all the way. Huh, wonder why the one side is like so much droopier than this one. Oh well. Ended up with a half sneeze, that's annoying. Must be that. I'm gonna blame that on the fabric dust down here. So, there we go. Of these turned. There's not very many left. It looks like we're maybe 5 or 6 from the end. There we go. Excellent. So there's the cats in floral wreaths on like dusty aqua. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, okay, they're hiding. 9 left. They're hiding under each other. That's okay. Not even noon yet. Perfect. Should probably do my inspection before I trim the leather off. But whatever. We're still going to follow the same seam lines of the leather if I have to do any other work, so. There we go. Very adorable as well. I really love the rubber duck and the yuzu onsen that are on here. And the stack. The capybara stack is probably the best thing of this. So they scrub each other's back. Oh, I thought they were stacked up. Anyway, there's a set of them scrubbing each other's backs. But I could have sworn there was a set of them like standing on each other. Maybe it's just this and I mistook it for that. Anyway, still super adorable. Everything looks good with it. This one looks like we just caught the drawstring channel after the leather, so I'll just look at it from here. All good. And that's a bit too tight. Okay. Not quite enough drawstring channel to be comfortable, so we'll just actually, since I was questioning it on this, I will just run it like 1/8 of an inch wider, and that will just Make sure that everything gets caught on both sides. There we go. Blend it into the previous stitch line and we should be good. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, trim down the leather nubs. This. That side's already been trimmed down, so now we'll just do our turning. Now we'll just double check it to make sure that it is for sure good. Yep. We're all good. All right, there we go. Sweet. Let's get this turned out here. Fluffed down, and there's our hedgies done. Well, nearly done. Hedgies are turned and ready to go. That will be okay. No, that's not going to be okay. Really close to the edge. So just adding a little bit of seam allowance there as well. Everything else looks okay. Trim the leather down. Okay, the rainbow hardware on this one was a good decision. It's like iridescent rainbow. And I kind of went, about it, but with the like purple and pinks in the, like it matches a lot of the colors actually in the bag. So it looks really good, especially against the black. There's a red version of this as well, not being made right now. But in that case, I wouldn't use the rainbow hardware because it wouldn't quite hold the same, but it looks really good here. Alrighty. Good. 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 Good on the exterior as well. Trim the leather. Trim the leather. There we go. Oh yeah, that looks really, really good. So this one got the rainbow hardware because I was like, well, it's a polar bear in the rain. And he's totally going to get a rainbow after the rain, obviously, because he's polar bear. Anyway, they're like micro polar bears holding these tiny umbrellas. And it also picks up quite a few of the colors just in a more vibrant fashion than what's on the bag as well, because this is very pastel. It does have a different drawstring color because I did not have enough of the fabric to make the drawstring, but that then matches the interior pockets as well. That nice warm brown leather for the wristlet handle. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. Sweet. Good. Okay, trim down the leather. Do my inspection and the turn. Where's the leather on this side? There it is. Did you get caught? You did get caught. Good. go. Make sure that... Okay, looks like we might have to go over this a little bit because... Oh no, it's a pretty thin selvage. But we definitely don't want any white showing because it's such a dark fabric that it'd be extremely noticeable. So let's just double check that before I turn it. Where is the white of the selvage? It's this side. Okay. Especially because it's also the exterior line showing. Oh yeah, no, we need to do a little bit more generous of a seam on the side just to get rid of the rest of that selvage. Alrighty. Not by much again, just enough to make it look nice. And then we'll blend it back into the side seam line. There we go. And that should be good now. Go. Turn, 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 turn. Ugh. So good. Such a good print. And we're good. I think. No, we're not. Okay, that one needs a little bit more right on this edge here. So we need to go in another like 1/4 inch. Not even, probably. But we'll do it from here. Eek. Fixed. Sweet. It's a bag of little black cat voids. It looks so good. It looks really, really classy with the like black. It's got the blue marble pockets, and then it's going to get a top stitch in black as well. Looking classy. Alrighty. I got 4 more bags to do. 4 more, 4 more, 4 more. And it is definitely lunchtime. Holy. Alright. 1 clip. And clip this one down too. And I think the seams on this are good. Yeah, we're good. Okay. There we go. Also looking spectacular. Very nice. And we're good for all the seams. Nothing's missing. 3 more to turn. Snip. Ew, did you get caught on this side at all? Nope. Okay, so I need to go back over that for the... It looks like actually the exterior and the drawstring barely got caught around here at all. So we're going to just step in and do a bit more. This side was obviously okay. Okay, so I'll just start from this side here. Sides are fine, but the actual like... There we go. And then I don't think we actually need to worry about the leather nub too much there. No. Nope, that's not gonna work. Okay, that needs, so this side needs me to stitch it more again. Still, it's fine on the one, but on the interior it is not. Okay, this one right there, there and there. Okay, alrighty, let's get this in and in. That all the way so it's not so distracting. Yeah, totally missed like catching the one side of the drawstring channel. Whoops. And I can see where it happened because it warbled everything. All right. These also so smooth. And then you turn them out and it's like, oh, of course it's happening while I'm also live streaming too. There we go, that should be better. Just know that when you get repairs like that or fixes like that, you got an extra seam. So one seam is durable. Multiple seams are even more durable. That's what I tell myself. Okay, that looks like, yeah, it got caught. So basically what happened is it missed the basting stitch even. And that just doesn't fly because then the basting stitch is visible and the basting stitch doesn't always catch all the fabric either. So, because it's just like, whatever, it'll go through and it'll hold it. And then the seam allowance is what actually holds it all together. But we're good now. Sweet. Two more. Two more, two more, two more. Turned out so good. So that I wobbled about using the teal webbing with this one, but I just ultimately decided on it because of the teal dress with the pink. Again, softens it up a little bit versus like using black. And then we use the rainbow in here too because it's Alice, and it just, that came together very nicely. Sweet. All right, we're on the last one. Last one. We've done it again, almost. So what's left? We got a top stitch. We'll go put labels on, and I need to put the drawstrings in them. That is still a significant amount of work, but how long have we been on? 3 hours, just over 3 hours. So I probably have about 3 to 4 hours left tonight. That's not bad. I think we can do it. I think I might be able to do it and actually be in bed by like midnight, maybe. Is it still a coffee with dinner night? 100%. There's no way I'm doing it without caffeination, so. All right. Well, thank you for being on this part of the journey with me today. I will be announcing on Instagram when I'm back on tonight. You kind of know the lay of the land now for what we've got left to do. Yeah, I think actually what we're going to do... I should almost glue the labels on before I leave for Calgary. Okay, lunchtime first, and then I'll decide if I'm going to do that. And then it'll be top stitching, drawstring, and finishing. We also have to do the finishing seam on the interior as well. But there's the last bag, and we've actually gotten through the majority that were left over after airdrie. Obviously, we had to pull a few because issues. I don't even remember what the issues were. That one needs to actually go in the bin, so I make sure to finish it. What were the issues with some of those? Oh, right. The D-ring tabs need to be fixed. It was something that's not easily fixable right now. Or at least not time-consuming fix right now. So anyway, I'm going to go get ready to actually go into the city. And I will chat with y'all in, well, at least by this evening, if not